Well, we're going now, so...
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm so nervous. Not that I'm nervous, but it's just different because
It's different.
You know, we talk all the time. I know you as Marketing Miranda, of course,
Right.
and we talk casually, but I feel like this is like informal, but it's still formal kind of,
it is.
you know?
Well, this is going on the internet for everyone to...
This is great.
Yeah, forever. It'll be there.
Oh my goodness, forever. Oh my goodness, this is great. Oh man.
So who are you? What do you do?
Sure,
Where
absolutely.
What's the name of your company?
Yeah, so my name's Nick Vera. I own Impulse Entertainment DJs. I've owned that business we're coming up on 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, originally started off in the south side of Chicago, and since I've moved with my wife, my lovely wife Susan, who I will bring on camera at some point today because she's amazing, and I've kind of taken it since to the west side here, and have just kind of brought my talents along. So
11 years ago, like where were you when you started this?
yeah, so we'll even take it a step back further than that. A long time ago, when burning CDs, Napster, all that stuff was great, you know, I would always burn CDs for my friends, sell them for 50 cents.
Really?
75 cents. Oh yeah, it was a thing.
Mixtapes?
Not mixtapes of like, but it was just, you know, just like
Yeah.
CDs, yeah, you know, different songs that were hot that you could only get when you're a Napster and downloading illegally, right? And so I ended up burning those CDs and sold them to my friends, and I just always really had a passion for music.
Cool.
And then there was actually a colleague of mine who was a mentor at the time. It's one of my best friends, my best friend Nate, his brother, had been a DJ. He's been a DJ for quite some time, and I ended up working for him a little bit on the side as I was kind of getting my thing going. But he really brought things up, and as we're rolling across the ceiling there, Marshall's like, "Come on, this is ridiculous."
They're never here on Mondays.
I'm-
today they're decorating.
Fine, let's work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's work it out.
So, anyways, I kind of started off with him, and that's how it really started. Is I had my own business, but he was kind of mentoring me along in some things, and yeah, it ended up. Oh man, I want to say the first gig that I had officially was I 19, Suze?
Have you guys been together this whole time? Wow.
Susan and I have been together we celebrated 10 years in September that we've been together, and it'll be 5 years in January that we'll be married.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But are you 30?
No, 29. Come
Yes,
on, Miranda.
This is crazy.
30 is coming up soon, but we were babies.
Yeah, you
know?
were babies.
Just little babies. Yeah.
So where did you guys meet?
We met at school. I was going to a school in Michigan, Calvin College, and she came up for a college visit? College visit. She came up for a college visit, and this was in the springtime. I still think I was 18. She says it was past my birthday. So my birthday's on April 1, so they were like, maybe it was later. I don't know. So either way, I was 18 or 19, and she was 17. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was it. And then, yeah, long story short, freshman year, she comes up, and we basically started dating almost immediately, and the rest is history.
Really, truly, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So then did you DJ, is that how you put yourself through school? Or
No.
was that like...
So I guess I would say I really started in school, because the dorms that were on campus, they would have these things called dorm banquets, which are basically like mini proms that you have at the end of the season or whatever it is. And so one dorm had asked me to do one of these dorm banquets, and so I did. And then another one had asked, and then another one, and I think one year there was 8 dorms on campus. It was a smaller school. There was 8 dorms on campus, and I want to say we booked 6 of the 8 dorms right away. Now, when I say we, not many people know this, I started off Impulse Entertainment with another guy.
Really?
Yeah, in college, and then I ended up buying him out after I graduated. And it's amicable terms, we're friends, everything like that.
Wow.
But, so
and it was so big by then that you had to actually buy him out of the company?
I bought him out of the company, yeah. So it was all the stuff that we had put in. We just kind of went through each piece of equipment and said, okay, what's this worth? What's this worth? What's depreciated here? And then I had to write him a check and say, all right, that's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But why did he get out?
He got out because he just didn't like it as much. He didn't like it as much, I would say. Yeah. So, but it was, and then you just kind of took it from there, because once I moved back from college, then it was, all right, I set my sights high and I said, let's see how we can go. let's see how far we can take this up.
Right.
Nick Vera, Impulse Entertainment. I want it to be a household name. Let's see what can happen. And
Damn.
11 years later.
Yeah, it is. When did you start getting into weddings?
Weddings I got into, I did my first wedding in 2009.
Okay.
And I did it with this other guy. It was for a couple in college that we had actually DJ'd their house party in college.
What?
In the spring, we had DJ'd a party where what this house does is they rent out there's a local roller rink there. And so this house would rent it out at night, after hours, and everyone would go. And they had I think they went through 8 or 9 kegs that night. People just rolling in and we're playing tunes and everything's great. He's like, Nick, you did great. DJ my wedding.
Wow.
$550. That's what it was. I'm like, I guess, let's make it happen.
Now what do you charge?
Now I'm over 2,000. I'm over 2,100 now.
A gig, right? Like a wedding.
Yeah.
How has it grown over the years? I mean, because back then there was not really Instagram.
Right.
Like Instagram and Facebook marketing were not what they are today.
Sure.
Obviously.
I would say that I look at every wedding, and I still do to this day, but it was especially important starting out because, like you said, the socials weren't what they were.
Right.
You know, Facebook was there, but it wasn't crazy.
Not like now.
I think it was like 2009 Messenger first came out for Facebook, and everyone's like, no, we like AIM better, whatever. With that stupid screen name that you had in middle school, whatever it was, right?
Yeah. Wait, what was your screen name?
Oh, man, this is so embarrassing. I had one that was Nickel Lantern because some friends called me Nickel Lantern. I don't know why, but I was Nickel Lantern. I was Little Vera. I was a few other ones because you make all these names.
I think mine was Sweet Dreams and then some numbers.
Was it Sweet Dreams with an S or with a Z?
With an S.
Oh, did you ever have it where it was like the S was lowercase and the W was?
Yeah, and like weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what the numbers were though.
Oh, remember that? Like the away messages and stuff?
Yeah. And
it was like
put these quotes up there, like song lyrics.
Remember this?
I definitely did
This is great. It was the best. And then you would put up your away message based on the relationship that you were in 6th grade.
Yeah.
You know, it was like,
yeah, that's right.
show me the meaning of being lonely.
Because we know what lonely is in 6th grade.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that 6th grade heartbreak is so devastating.
It is. And the thing is, those things are over in like a day.
Yeah,
the relationships, if it lasts more than 24 hours, I mean, I think that's an instant success.
Exactly.
Instantly.
You dated, but you didn't talk to them.
Right.
Like I dated in 6th grade Ben Von Olin. That was my...
How long did you guys date for?
2 days.
2 days.
He gave me... this is funny that I'm admitting this out loud, but he burned me a copy of the Limp Bizkit CD. And then he wrote a note and was like, listen to number 8 or whatever. And it was it was their one slow song. I think it was called You're the One.
You're the One by Limp Bizkit.
And
remember that?
No.
Yeah.
That was intense. I think I still have that.
Was that your song?
I found like the new wedding go-to.
Yeah, that's it. From now on.
Limp Bizkit.
Guys, I was on this podcast last year.
One wedding.
I have to.
You have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was intense, man.
Oh, man. So was that your song then with him?
Yeah, and then...
that's huge.
I remember that our lockers were in the same hallway, and his best friend had to tell me that he was like, hey, Ben thinks you look cute today.
Oh.
I'm like, what? I pass you in the hallway.
Right. Just what it was, though.
Yeah, it was so weird. But who could put their away messages on? Because, remember you had to take up your phone line.
Yes.
So even, where were we going away?
Probably the bathroom or something. I don't know.
To tie up the phone line for that long.
Right. But then, I don't know if you were the household that had 2 phone lines or if it just one.
No, we only had one.
Okay, I only had one.
Yeah.
There were some people that had 2, and it was like, oh, yeah, I can be online the whole time. So you always see that they're away or they're online. It could be Sunday at 11 a.m. and then, or Saturday at 11 a.m. and then Saturday at 3 they're still on, and then at 7 and they have a second phone line.
I think if I have kids, I'll just give it away for the teenage years. Because, can you imagine? If you have a daughter, she was definitely online and probably on the phone.
On the phone at the same time.
Yeah, probably talking to the same person.
Right.
Teenage daughters, I think, they're tough.
See, I don't know. Like, I told Susan, if we ever have kids, which we're not going to anytime soon. So for anyone listening, all right, my friends, we're not anytime
Not
soon.
right now.
No. Yeah. And even Susan says this too. Boys. She said, I don't want a girl.
Yeah.
I want boys.
Because I feel like boys, when they're younger, they're just destructive.
Yeah.
But girls are, like, strategically mean. We were talking about this because Marshall's has a daughter and then his roommate has a son. And so, like, Louis is just, like, outright mean. But Rebel will plot.
Yeah.
And, like, think about it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's smart.
That's so true.
Yeah. And I know because you have a sister, right? Is she older or younger?
She's younger than me. So she's, how old is sis? 25? I think she's 25, yeah.
Did you guys fight when you were younger?
Yeah, we fought all the time. I was always picking on her, and then when we were younger, she was a little heavier than me, right? And so
I like how you did this.
Yeah, and so my mom was like, she looks great now. She lost a ton of weight now. She looks awesome.
Yeah.
But this was, we're talking back 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, whatever. And my parents would say, you better watch out, because one day she's going to come and wail on you or sit on you or something. Because I was just a little kid.
Sit on you?
Like, I was like twigs. I think I weighed 40 pounds until like freshman year of college. Like, that was it, you know? And one day she did it. She just started beating me.
Did she sit on you though?
Oh, yeah, and everything. And it was like, I'm gasping for air. I don't know what's going on, and that's it. But that was our relationship, and now it's, of course, totally different, but...
They used to tell me that about Eddie, too. My grandma especially would be like, one day, because I used to pick on him real bad. I was really mean. And they would say, one day he's going to be bigger than you. And then I would just say, well, I'll always be meaner.
Oh, that's good.
And I am.
See,
so...
I think now she's can definitely pick on me more, and she might be meaner too. Really? So I don't know.
Eddie still like picks on me all the time.
Yeah.
But there was one time in particular, like when maybe he was in middle school, and he like kicked and he stopped his foot right here by my face, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna not do that again. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, he's gonna fight back. Man, I used to beat that kid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was terrible. Oh. I know.
Like bloody?
No.
Blood just...
Yeah.
I used to do the thing where I would put the pillow over her face. Like, not hoping to suffocate her, but until she was like, Nick, I can't breathe. I know this is so bad, but it was like, yeah.
They're terrible.
I would take it off, and that was fine. And I don't know why I did it. It's just one of those things. Like, you think about it later... Now, when you look back and you say, why would you do something like that?
I don't know.
That's so stupid.
You just have to exercise control, I guess.
We're all just a bunch of animals.
Yeah, we are.
We're a bunch of animals. Susan's going psychopath over there, you know? Like, yeah.
One time, I smacked him so hard, I left a handprint on his back, and I got in trouble for that one. But he used to pinch me until I bled.
Oh,
like
my.
Yeah. I don't know why that was like the go-to punishment in my family, because my grandma did that. Like if you were misbehaving at the dinner table, she'd pinch you under the table, and you couldn't say shit because it was grandma.
Yeah.
You just had to take it. And then she would pinch like the inside of your leg.
Oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm. It was tough. She was, I don't know. But then Eddie and I also had, like, we shared a bedroom wall, and we had secret code knocks and stuff.
Yeah.
We like talked about cutting a hole in the wall because we had a secret door.
If my kids did that, I'd be pissed right away.
That's what kids do.
It's what they do, you know? Hey, you hate them and you love them at the same time. But the hate isn't real hate. It's just, you hate them, but you love them. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is a really enlightening podcast.
This is great.
So far.
I know.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So how did you and your sister then like get into your own businesses?
Yeah, so my sister, she owns a photography business.
Yeah.
Christina Elizabeth Photography. Find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if she does Twitter as much, so I lied there, but Instagram, Facebook, everything. She started off, I think she says that her first official paid thing was our engagement photos, because we paid her money for that. And she says that was the official start of Christina Elizabeth Photography. Cool. My sister is brilliant. She was always smarter than me. She got better grades. She is awesome. And she was so artistic. Oh, cool. And she majored in art. She did a lot of stuff just from an artsy standpoint. There's stuff that she could take a blank wall to, you know, like you could have like 3 things and she could be like, oh, let's do this, 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 and this. And it's amazing. And so she just started taking photos. I don't even know how she started. And it just happened. And then the cool thing now is She lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan now. So, but the cool thing now is that she will work weddings in Chicago and in Grand Rapids, and we actually cross paths.
That's cool.
3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And then people say, "Oh my," like clients love it because they're like, "Oh, it's your brother sister combo. Like this is great." And at the same time, it's always so very professional.
Yeah.
You have to treat her as a professional because she owns her own business. She's a photographer.
Right.
So I make the same calls before the weddings, "Hey Christina, this is Nick, just want to check in."
Yeah.
And then after that I'll call her back and I'll be like, "All right sis, what's going on?"
like,
Whatever.
what's up?
But it's cool and unique because especially when we're working a wedding, we're always on the same page with things.
Yeah.
You can just kind of look at each other and go, "Okay, yep, we're doing this, boom, boom, boom."
Cool.
And it's ready to go.
Yeah,
so,
that would be easy.
But she's been doing it, I don't know how long. Officially 6 years probably.
Wow.
So
Does she strictly do wedding photography?
no, she does a lot of family portraits and a lot of she does weddings, but she prefers smaller weddings.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's more intimate. She gets those shots.
Right.
I'm not going to say she doesn't like the bigger weddings. She'll do them.
Yeah.
But I think that her niche is in the smaller weddings and just
Yeah.
she loves the idea of family portraits, newborns, things like that. She loves it
That's
because you just actually spend time with the family.
Right.
So
And you get to know them. So then, that's interesting that she has a niche that she likes. Is this her full-time job?
that's her full time. Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely.
that's amazing.
She has some part time stuff on the side too.
Yeah.
She used to be a nanny and things, but that full time is photography. So
Wow.
it's brought her some cool places for engagement photos to travel, and she just
Right.
did some newborn photos for my cousins who live in the Orlando area. So she's always traveling all over the place.
Do they fly her out there? Or does she pay for that and
I
expense it?
I don't know. She might expense that out.
She should expense it.
Well,
but
yeah, of course.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm super as an older brother, I'm super proud of her and to see what she's done. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, so your DJ business, that's not your full-time job, right?
Right,
But
right.
it could be.
It could be, and it has in the past before. It's been in the past. Technically, I spend, especially during the wedding season,
Yeah.
minimum 40 hours a week working.
So crazy.
So this past year was crazy, and we're just actually coming off of, when I say we, it's because it's me, it's Susan. My wife is very involved in things.
Do you want to bring her up here now?
Let's bring her up. Suze, come on up.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Oh, this is great. We never have an extra guest.
Go.
Do you want to pull that chair over? Will she be in the frame if she...
Or you just otherwise pop in
Yeah,
for a
just
sec.
come
That's
over
fine.
here.
Just pop on in.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, come on in. So this is Susan.
Hello.
Susan is amazing. Obviously, we've been together
Yeah.
for so long. I feel like I'm sinking in the couch. No,
Very comfortable. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's nice
Yeah.
and cozy.
but I always tell people there's a lot of people in my life that have put me in the spot where I am today, and especially for my business. Little known fact: Susan named the business Impulse Entertainment.
Really?
We were
So did,
we were coming
yeah.
up with names, and she came up with it. And at the time, I was still working with my partner, and we're like, "Yeah, this might stick." And she named it, right?
I did.
And now she sees the good, the bad, everything. I call her after every event. I talk to her about literally everything.
Wow.
And
so cool.
the biggest thing, and she's been a trooper for a long time because when the wedding season goes, it goes, and it's
Yeah.
weekends and weekends and consultations, and I'm not around as much, and so we try to make the most of it when we're around.
Right.
But she is awesome. Like she
Yeah.
is my complete rock in this whole
Aw.
thing, and I bounce ideas off of her. I got there's a mentor of mine who he's quite a bit older than me, not quite a bit, but he's maybe 15 or 20 years
Yeah.
older than me, and I bounce ideas off of him all the time. I call him my Obi-Wan, my sensei.
Nice.
All the time. Obi-Wan, he's my
It's so
coach,
important
everything.
to have
Yeah.
that.
Right. And he gave me one piece of advice that I've never forgotten to this day. He said, when you have questions, ask your wife and talk to your wife because she'll know the answer, even if she's not even in the situation.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I usually just give you like a different perspective.
Right.
Because you can sometimes will get stuck in like
Right.
just one way of thinking about it, and I'll just like throw out different ways to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice to have like fresh eyes that aren't directly involved in
Exactly.
the business.
Right.
So I'm
that's
in
nice.
it, but I'm like
Yeah.
outside of
Right.
it.
So it's good because she brings me in. She reels me in because my expectations are so high.
Yeah.
And she reels me in and she's like, "You're doing fine, you're doing great." But I always tell people my success is never without her because she means everything to me.
Oh,
Everything,
that's so
you know?
sweet.
So
It's been fun to see it grow because, yeah, like we said, I've been there since he started the smallest little gigs in college, and now
we're doing these big things, and it's cool.
How do you deal with not having him on the weekends, especially like during the summer? Is it stressful?
It's almost works out in a way because we balance each other where I do enjoy alone time.
Oh yeah, me
too. It gets exhausting to never have him there, but it's not as hard as I think people might. Yeah. Some people it might be really super hard because they just like will always miss him. But like, I don't know.
I think it's good to miss your significant other too.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have that balance.
Yeah, so I mean, it gets rough. The middle, like towards the end of the season, it's just like, okay, like I'm sick of this. Like, I want you home. You're missing out on fun stuff. Like, I'm going to all these events by myself. Like, so that gets tiring. But for the most part, it's okay.
It works out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How long do you envision this, like, doing this? Because working the weekend, I mean, like, this, like...
You can stay behind. Envisioning the weekends, working the weekends.
I mean, it's like
it's
the schedule that you have to maintain during wedding season. How many weddings did you do this year?
This year, oh my goodness, it was over 30 this year. 30. And I brought it down a little bit because last year I was at about 40.
I mean, yeah, that's like, there are only 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
And if you did 30,
right,
40,
exactly.
That's like every weekend.
Yeah.
Minus a few.
I'll give you more room on the couch.
Thanks.
Thanks for being up here.
Thanks, Suze.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I always this is where you kind of dive in now a little bit and you say, I don't know. I've been telling people for a long time, for the last 4 or 5 years, 2020 was my last year of DJing.
Oh, really?
And that's coming up quick now.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest with you, I did draft a letter to be done at the end of 2018.
Who did you draft the letter
I drafted it so that I could put on my website, put on Facebook and everything. And I was going to draft it out, and this is before I had... did something happen?
No.
Okay.
Did that camera go off?
Well, that would have stopped. That's weird. It's on.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. We're just
letting it happen.
Every time we're learning something else.
This is good. I like it.
It's great.
But I drafted a letter in 2018 because I was tired. It was the end of the year, and I learned that it's not a good idea to draft a letter or to do anything when you're tired.
Yeah.
And this is your first weekend home with your wife, and you're like, this is great. I want to do this forever, you know? And I drafted a letter, and then I talked about it with Susan, and she said, if this is what you want to do, that's fine. The one thing I always told her, though, was I had said, going back to it, I had said, so I ended up not drafting, because obviously I'm DJing for 2019.
Right.
And I will pursue into 2020. But I told her early on, I said, the moment that I come home and I say I'm tired, in a sense that I'm emotionally and just physically exhausted,
drained.
Just in general.
Yeah. Not
when I get home at 2 o'clock and I say I'm so tired I need to go to sleep, but when I'm tired, that's when you have to tell me that I have to stop, because now I'm doing it for the wrong reasons.
Oh, right.
I never look at this job because I enjoy it so much as a money maker.
Oh.
I make
you're
money.
You're making such good money.
You make good money, and that's great. But at the same time, if I'm doing it only for the money, then I'm in it for the wrong reasons, and that's not fair to any of my clients whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Because especially doing the weddings, I mean, you're such a big part of these lives. Oh, we had a DJ
let's hear
last weekend.
Yes.
He was so terrible. He did not acknowledge the crowd at all.
No.
And I don't understand. So when you're a wedding DJ, you're emceeing their wedding.
Right.
Right? Like you're the guy up there. You have to get the excitement. You have to lead the speeches. You have to call the bridal party out. There's a lot that goes into wedding DJing that besides playing music.
Absolutely.
And we've seen some really good ones and we've seen some really bad ones. And this dude was terrible. I don't know who would give him money.
Right.
It was crazy.
See, and that's bad is because I just don't know what's out there, and I should know more about my competition. People always say you should know more about who you're going against, but I don't, because I don't care.
Right. Because
I'm just trying to do the best that I possibly can for that client.
And you don't need to. I feel like people put too much emphasis on understanding the competition. Like, you should kind of know who's in the water with you. But if you're focused on that, then, like, you're not spending enough time on your own craft.
Right.
And, like, doing the best for the client, you know, at the end of the day. Which is interesting, because you don't really do any advertising, right? It's all word of mouth.
All word of mouth. 98% of my business is word of mouth. 2% is just they find me somewhere. On the Nod or on Wedding Wire, but I don't pay for anything on that.
You don't pay for either of those?
Neither of them.
Really?
Neither. And people will still find me, yeah.
Yeah.
But I did a search recently because I did like Lombard wedding DJs because I'm based off in Lombard, and I came up. I was like the second one on there.
Do you pay?
I don't pay anything. So maybe if they were, you know, if it's like a Chicago wedding DJ, I could be featured. You know, get like a thing. But and I almost went with Wedding Wire this year, but
You decided not to.
I decided not to just because I don't know. A lot of people said it's not worth it.
Well, why do you need to? Like, where do you have room to grow your business?
Right. Well, now that brings it. That's a nice segue into the struggle that I have of just growing my business.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do it because I'm such a perfectionist.
Right.
You know?
Do you want to grow your business?
I would like to, but the thing is that this is a thing that I'm struggling on right now is people know Impulse Entertainment, but they associate Impulse Entertainment with Nick Vera. Mm-hmm. That right there is a problem. It used to be good.
Right.
Now it's a problem because of the fact that they only want me because they know me. They've seen me.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere.
Right.
Right? And so if I try to bring someone else on, it's difficult because I can vouch for this guy and do things and say as much as I can. And at the end of the day, I mean, I just lost out on 2 weddings 2 weeks ago because they said, you're not available, we only want you. You know?
So you have like no middle ground. Like, if these people can't book you, then they're not going to work with Impulse Entertainment.
Essentially, that's what it is.
So how do you scale a personal brand? That's what it is. Like,
right.
How do you... So then can you, like... I feel like you have to bring someone with you. You've got to, like, train someone up so that they see you two together and they, like, associate, okay, Nick and whoever this guy is.
Right.
And now, like, you get their face out there, too. That's, like, the only way you can do it. Because that builds trust. They trust you. They don't trust this guy over here. And that's the problem.
And so I have a guy that has been working for me for 4 or 5 years now. Great guy. He's awesome. He's about to graduate college, finish things up. But he's been working for me for a while. And he's great. And I try and teach him as much as I possibly can about things. And he's come out with me. And I'm starting to build a rapport with him more with my clients,
right?
Some of the repeat clients that I have, but these are like park districts and schools and things like that. But they always say like, "Hey, Steve was great. He did an awesome job. He was amazing," you know. But now I have to bring that into weddings, so I'm slowly bringing them into some things because now is the time to do it. Because essentially, as a business owner and as a general person, you want to make money but not work as much, right? It's like what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
But at the same time, I never want to completely. I still need to work, but just I don't want to be out every weekend.
Well, right. You have like an easy way to get passive income.
Right.
It's so easy, but you have to build that trust.
You have to build it up.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I'm struggling with now, and I have some ideas on some things of what to do, and this is something that's been weighing a lot on me, and I talk to Susan about it quite often, and I've just picked a lot of people's brains on it, and just what's a good option, what can I do, what can I not do, because essentially all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to invest money and see which ones fail, and you're never going to recoup that. You know, I mean, you'll recoup it eventually, but at this point now it's like I'm investing more into my business more than ever, I think, not from an equipment standpoint, but from a brand standpoint.
Like what? What are you investing in?
I'm just saying investing in different, whether it's hiring a photographer to do different headshots or to do different things, or getting a videographer and so that I can do an About Me video, but with these guys, and to bring these guys out and then to pay them. So I'm not getting everything necessarily, you know? It's just a lot of money that's going to go other places.
But I feel like you have this opportunity to develop these brand partnerships where people, like if you were to partner with a wedding photographer and videographer, like they want to be on your website because you're organically, like you're being found so quickly online. Like just organically, not even paying for anything. Like you're booked with weddings. So people, if they see like, oh, you know, video done by whatever company, then that's a referral source for them.
Yeah, that's true.
So they should be doing this for free for you because you're so successful and like booked with weddings, and you can tell them like, hey, I had 40 weddings in 2017 and I had 30 this year because I said no to some. So like just you call and ask if they'll do it for free, because it's a brand partnership then.
Yeah, you're right.
And then they can use that as like a showcase on their website as well, and then it works together.
Right.
And you guys can share it and talk about it, and like I think that's where a lot of people like overthink it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to spend all that money. To hire a videographer and a photographer. Those things are important, and I have to do those things too, get headshots and stuff, but I think there's like smarter ways to position it.
You're absolutely right. Something that I didn't think of, only because of the fact that I don't like to go in and ask things for free. Yeah. Because I'm the type of person where I was just having this conversation with my mom the other day, and she had mentioned something about how there was someone who was going to ask if I could give a discount. Yeah. I give 0 discounts.
Because you don't need to.
Yeah, I don't need to, but at the same time, I always tell people, I say, do you take a pay cut at your job? Do you?
Right.
If you don't, then, and they're going to say, no, why would I ever take a pay cut at my job? Well, then why do I need to take a pay cut at mine?
Right.
You know, if you want me specifically, this is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to pay.
Right.
If you don't want me, fine. But then people will just go, okay, that's fine. You know, but...
Yeah.
And it's just, but so I guess my point is being that I don't want to necessarily ask for something for free from someone, because I their time is money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I say Marketing Miranda, of course. I say Marketing Miranda, I say, I need you to help me out. I'm not going to say, well, you know, I was on your podcast, I've known you for a while, blah, blah, give me a deal. No, give me your full price.
Right.
I need to support you, you know?
I think that's fair. Like, and I had someone, I'm trading services. My life coach and I are going to be trading services. Great. But we agreed that we're going to pay each other. So it's a trade, but we're paying, like the cash flow is going in and out because people have to like get used to paying you. But in this instance, you are providing them, it's not free because you're putting them on your website and you're providing them advertising, you're getting them out there to another audience, like you're cross branding and promoting. Right. So it's not free. You have to understand like the value of your brand that you've built over 11 years. There's the value.
Right.
Like you're not giving them a check. You're like, they can't buy groceries but they may like get client referrals.
Right.
All they have to do is book one wedding, and that's more than paid for your headshots.
Right.
Or your video.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if they got one booking out of seeing it on your website, it more than pay for it.
Yeah. And
that's where the value is. So you have to like frame it in that state of mind, because I think that yes,
please, wine break. No, wine break.
That we like devalue ourselves. Is that a word?
Devalue, I guess. Yeah.
Undervalue.
I think it's devalue.
It's devalue.
Yeah. You can devalue a brand.
Okay. Like right, and I think we do devalue ourselves, like especially if you're in the business for yourself.
Right. Then
it's so easy to be like, oh, this is free, but it's not.
Right.
Like that's a really strong partnership. Like what would you're a 5-star wedding DJ with 11 years of experience. Yeah.
5 stars. And if the thing though is that if I ever get a 4-star review, I told Susan I will quit.
Right, so you literally don't get less than 5 stars.
Like I can't get a 4.5, 4.9. It's a 5. It needs to be 5 across the board. 100%.
You've never gotten a 4-star?
Never gotten a 4-star.
What do you get reviewed on?
Reviewed on Facebook, Wedding Wire. And sometimes people put it on the Knot.
Okay, so several
So it's legit.
Yes.
Jesus.
I cannot.
So this
4.9 is...
All of this, like think about that stuff as dollar signs.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Oh, thanks, Marsh.
I'm also a maitre d'.
I love these. These are some heavy pours. This is
know.
Good.
What the hell?
Just drink it.
Can we cheers to Marshall's heavy pours?
This is like a whole bottle of wine in here.
This is it. I know.
Well, talk.
just talk. Keep it going.
But yeah, so like
I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much value in the brand that you've created. People are paying for it. Like you're a premium DJ.
Right.
People are paying top dollar.
And that's true. And you know what? To be honest with you, that's something that I just realized in 2018 when I raised my prices up. Because I was charging $700 less than what I'm charging now. And I jumped it up $700.
You know, that's like
people are paying for it.
The biggest conversations I have to have with my clients is like most of the time they have to raise their prices.
Yeah.
And like they're I'm working with a photographer, and she was telling me what she was charging, and I'm like, what the hell? And she wants to grow her business, but because she's charging so little for her photography, she has to do so much of it to pay her bills. Like, if you would just double or triple your price, then you could scale your business.
Exactly.
And she wants to expand, and she wants a lot like you. Like, she wants to bring on team members, but she's built the rapport with these clients. And so it's kind of a similar situation, but like the first thing you have to do is raise your prices, because that creates like, now you can say no to people.
Right. And now people say no to me, which is awesome.
Right.
It's
exactly.
great. It's really good. I don't want to work every week. And at one point I told Susan, I said, I want to work 52 weddings in a year. If I work 52 weddings in a year, I promise you, Susan, I will quit that following year 100%. Yeah. But then I look at it and I go, 52 weddings in a year? That's nuts. And I mean, over the course of time, I do 30 weddings and then I do another 20, 25 events. So I'm working 50, 60 events a year.
That is insane for one person.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
But, and this is...
I know nothing less.
Why isn't it your full-time gig then? Why do you feel the need to, like, maintain something during the week?
Because I like it. Because there's a point where after a while I
but
might
do
get...
you though?
Yeah. There's a point...
Stay busy.
I like to stay busy, that's the thing. Right? And so at one point, with this job that I have now, at one point... I started off full-time, and I said, yup, I can handle it. I was working full-time and full-time DJing, and I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. There was one week I logged like 115 hours in a week.
That's crazy.
An average week was like 75 to 80 hours. Average. Yeah. And then, so I had this full-time job, and then I said, you know what, I can't do this. I got to drop it down. So then you rework the schedule a little bit, but now even the part-time, being there 3 days a week, can be tough too, because now you're not necessarily focusing 100% on the business, what you should be, to market it more.
Right.
And then that gives more, then it's like those days that I'm working, I come home and it's not all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm done working for the day. No,
you gotta work, right? Yeah. Yes. Because I'm in the same position.
Right. And people don't understand, and that's the thing that frustrates me, is that people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Is that, oh yeah, Nick, you look like you're having so much fun, you're doing all this great. Yes, the day of I'm having a great time, but there's all of this work that goes on, and I'm working my ass off.
Right.
So many hours, and who sees it? Who's affected by it most? Me and Susan.
Right.
100%. And I hate the day, and there was a point at the beginning of when I went down to... There was, I don't want to say hate, there was a point where when I went down to part-time, I would just take those days, because Susan had just finished up her serving job, because she was working at P.F. Chang's for such a long time, and we would never see each other. So it always was a nice balance. I'd come home from work, she'd be out until 10 o'clock, I could get the things I need to get done. When she came home at 10, we'd watch a movie, have dinner late, whatever it might be.
That's
nice. With that being said now, she's home more, so I want to spend more time with her.
Right.
So there was a point over the summer where it was... I wasn't working as much as I should have been. Yeah. And then I tell Susan, I'm like... I blame Susan. I blame my wife. That's it. But I told her, I said, listen, like, I love spending time with you, and that's all that I want to do, but I can't.
Right.
I got to take some time. So now it's like, I go to Starbucks after a consultation, I'll sit there for a couple hours and just, because I need to get in the zone.
Yeah.
And it's like, otherwise, because I hate being away from her in my own house. Yeah. But at the same time... It's good to be away. Like this past weekend, I came home, I was super tired, and she's like, and she didn't say anything about like, let's hang out or anything, but she wanted to hang out with me, and I'm like, I'd like to be alone, and she's like, this has never happened in my life. Like, I
totally understand that.
Yeah.
I love to be alone, but he's never like give me alone time.
But when
he said that, I was like, oh, he must need it.
Right.
But when I'm alone, then I'm pulling out my decks and I'm mixing, I'm putting together a mix or doing something. Like I'm still DJing or doing something. I'm just
not. That's because you like it.
I like it. I love it.
I think that's important. It is really hard to explain to people. Like, well, I had to say no to that work thing we have tonight because after this, then I have 2 more meetings. Like, I don't, and they're not like they're gonna be from home, but it's still work. I have to get done because when you have like this filler job, which is what we'll call it, but it takes up so much of your time to be there for those like chunks of time. I know. He was giving me like it's just consuming so much time, and then for me it's like this mental exhaustion that comes with it too. Right. And then when you have to on Thursday, I was there all day. We work at the same place for anybody listening. So I'm there Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Nick is there
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. So Thursday I was there all day, and then I had a meeting here.
Yeah.
And I had to come here, and the client told me, she's like, I'm so surprised you wanted to meet today. I'm like, yeah, but if we didn't do it today, it would have been another week.
Exactly.
Like, my time is so specifically scheduled right now.
Right.
And with one day off, it's insane.
Right.
And I give myself, like, Monday mornings. So, I will happily say no to a Monday evening, like, fun thing. That means I get, like, Monday morning to kind of, like, get a little weekend.
Yeah.
But that's it. And it's so hard to explain that, and it's so hard to keep saying no to people, like your family and your loved ones. So I try to make a point to at least see my family and Marshall, and that's
it. And anyone else that you see is a bonus.
Yeah, anyone else is bonus.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have actually, it's after this, I have a standing date with one of my best friends. He stood up at my wedding, and we get together once a month on a Monday.
Oh, that's
And we just go to a different brewery and whatever, which, by the way, I think I'm hanging out with Micah tonight.
Perfect.
So, but anyways, and it's one of the things where we sat down, and we started this in the summer, like, I think it was like August, maybe September? I don't remember. And so it's only been going, but the month flies by so much,
Right.
and we just said, you know what? Let's set aside one day a month. That's it.
Yeah, it's great.
You know?
And that, I think, is reasonable. And I try, because, like, before I was doing my own business, then I was, like, super social. So I was seeing my friends, like, every weekend or at least once a week. And even my friends in Virginia, like, I FaceTime them once a week. And so now we're, like, at this point where it's monthly.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a hard transition for me and for them.
Right.
So I just try, like, and I just let people know, like, hey, this week is going to be hell.
Right.
Like this, I'm working starting today through Sunday.
Right.
Every single day.
Woof.
I know.
Marketing, Miranda.
And it's not just like a few hours, Like
it's
the
like
weekend,
a full thing.
the side hustle, that's like 12 hours at a time. So I'm going to work 30 hours between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in addition to... See, it flies by.
This is nuts.
I told you.
45 minutes?
Yeah, and we're just chatting away.
Oh my.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So why don't you do it? You just like to be busy?
I enjoy being busy. The extra income's nice.
Yeah.
I enjoy being busy because there's points in the year, especially comes around this time where my wedding season is done.
Yeah.
My wedding season is 100% done until next year.
Right.
January 5, I start up. So I don't get that much of a break,
Yeah.
but I get 2 months of a break that I'm like, I'm taking full advantage of it. So we're traveling, we're doing different things, we're doing all this stuff, right?
Are you guys going to go on vacation for Christmas?
I don't know if we're going to go for Christmas, but I think in January, towards the end, I only have 3 weddings in January, I think.
Yeah.
So in January, I think we're going to go somewhere towards the end. We always try and get away. Sometimes for Christmas, we did this awesome thing where we went to an all-inclusive around Christmas, and then we got back on Christmas Day because, and I don't mean this the wrong way, especially for anyone that's listening, like, family's great. I love my family.
Yeah.
Family's amazing.
You're close with your family.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Thanksgiving and Christmas, that whole holiday stretch, I dislike it very much because of the fact that it's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
And you're going to this and this and this, and it's like, I got to see Susan's parents, which I love Susan's parents. They're fantastic.
Right.
You got to see that whole family. Then you got to see my family. Then you got to see my dad. Then you got to see this.
Your parents are divorced,
and my
right?
parents are divorced.
Yours are together?
Yeah, but it's just so much. And it's like, our parents aren't the type of people that are like, you're not with us on Christmas, we're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, if we miss a holiday, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But the thing that I really enjoyed was leaving and being away for the holidays and coming back and seeing them when we saw them.
Oh, that's nice.
Because it's sometimes so much. But I know that Susan really enjoys to be around her family. I, of course, enjoy to be around her family and things like that. I'm not saying anything bad by it, by any means. But sometimes it's just nice to just...
Yes.
Maybe we'll see on the 27th. Maybe we'll see on the 30th.
I think that is really nice, and I was trying to get my mom to do that, and she's like not into it this year. Well, at first, because my grandparents, this will only be the second Christmas without them, so they've been around for a long time. So of course we're not going to leave then. But now, since they've passed away, I'm like, Mom, let's just do this. And all my cousins have families of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Like my cousins, first of all, I have a huge family. Okay, my mom is one of 7, and and that's just my mom's side, but they all have kids, and they all have kids. I'm like the only cousin that's entered my 30s without children, and so they, like
Goodness.
and they have some of them, my cousins have 4 kids. So it's huge. Like my grandma, they did this thing when my grandparents were living in the retirement community, and you had to make like a little, it was for Christmas or something, like an ornament with each grandchild's name. And my grandma's went like around the hallway because she had 42 grandchildren, I think, and great-grandchildren.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and now my cousin's oldest daughter is having a baby. Oh my gosh. Like, you know, so we're into the next generation. It's crazy. The 3rd generation. It's insane.
It's nuts. And for family family parties, when your family's that big, please. I mean, like, great. It's good to see every once in a while, but like that. Otherwise, you literally got to rent out a hall or something because you're
we do.
having
like
an
that's
extra
the
50
problem.
people.
No one has a house big enough in my family to hold us, so we have to like divide on the holidays now.
That's great.
Because my grandparents did, but they don't.
Right.
You know, not anymore. And so it's crazy. Like, okay, my one aunt, both of my aunts host Thanksgiving, so Aunt Linda takes half and Aunt Carol takes half, basically. That's
What do you mean half?
Like of the family, like my.
So
aunt,
one half is over here, and one half is on the other side, like on another house.
Yeah, like my uncle.
Do you
John,
ever cross? Like, is it like, oh, let's see what's going on at Aunt
We did
Karen's,
one year. We went to my Aunt Linda's because my Aunt Carol was like out of town or something. Yeah, but they can't. Like no one's house is big enough to hold us all, so we can't.
That's
do it.
way too much.
And that's just my mom's family. My dad is one of 8, and my stepmom's one of 12.
Susan and Marshall are like,
I have like one uncle.
You do. You literally have one uncle.
I have one uncle.
one, oh my.
And mine.
What I would do.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's
we
family.
don't have it like that.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's
can you
nuts.
imagine my wedding? Just my aunts, uncles, and cousins.
You 250 people right there.
Yes.
My goodness. You gotta rent out the.
500 people.
I have a question from
Yeah.
the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Totally off topic. If you had 2 DJs that were
Nick. Oh, you're asking Nick.
75% as good as like what you've built up.
Yeah.
How many weddings would you actually have to work per year?
Me, personally?
Right.
0. I get it.
You like you gotta find
Dang
those.
it.
Yeah.
You've already built like a crazy brand.
Yeah.
It'd be shameful
No,
to just.
you already said this. You know this.
Yeah, you can't throw it away and just retire. You have. It'll probably take time, but you can find new dudes.
You just have to train them
100%.
yourself.
You just gotta find them.
Because even 100%, and I'm not saying you're
Yeah,
like tooting my own horn, whatever. People have told me, and just at the last wedding that I did, October 27, people tell me I'm the most amazing DJ that they've ever seen.
Well, you can
Right?
train someone like that. And after a while, people will.
Yeah.
People will like get off the whole "it's gotta be you" thing.
There will be a
Yeah.
transition period.
You're right.
Yeah,
There has to be.
transition period, but I bet it's 1 season
Yeah.
You're right.
for real life.
Because I even think in two,
Just
so
make bank.
right,
Yeah.
and to the point too that I'm making as well is people say you're the most amazing DJ. So if you say the person's doing 75%, that's still no joke from what I've heard. At least 50% than what other DJs do.
If they do half what you
If a DJ gives 40 to 50% of what I do, it's still a 5-star review.
What
I
if,
think-
what if what you did on the weekend was you went to the wedding randomly, visited for 30 minutes and went home?
Instead of
Just
DJ.
to make sure
Everything's fine.
Well, that's
exactly.
where-
perfectionists keep them on their toes or whatever, but like you just gotta find the right people, and I'm sure they're out there that don't want to deal with all the other stuff. And you could give them work
Right.
without the stress of planning and so on and so forth.
And so then the other thing is, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
think, like where your value for your brand is in your your personality. So I think you could maintain all of the like client relationships.
Right.
And you could do that from anywhere. You just need your laptop. You know, like as far as the check-in emails and getting their playlists lined up and first dance and all that, other than the initial consultation, which you could also do virtually.
Right.
And then so you handle like kind of customer relations, and then you just let them know like in one of our seasoned DJs, he's great, blah blah blah. So that, and you have to set those expectations up front. But I think that's where your fear is, that they're not going to handle the client as well as you would like them to.
Right, which is the only thing, because my expectation is perfection. And that's what I tell people in a consultation.
So then
when I know that they're booking me.
Yeah, keep that relationship then.
Right.
And just let them know, like, day of. I mean, and of course you have to get guys that are charismatic and, like, energetic.
Right.
Similar to you, but you can still, like,
I got a side story. Go ahead.
Go. That's it.
Okay, so the side story, and I know we got to be coming up on time a little bit. I know. I took my dad. I've been DJing for 11 years. My dad has never saw me in action until 3 weekends ago. Right? Bring my dad in, and I got my best friend, like my ultimate best friend from Michigan. He was my old college roommate. His name is Chris. He was like, Nick, you want to grow the business, you need to bring Jose into it. Jose's my dad. You got to bring Jose into it. And I said, no.
Okay, but wait, let's explain. Jose. You're half Puerto Rican.
I'm half Puerto Rican,
right? That just seems like a crazy thing for this white dude
right.
on the couch.
Yeah, I'm probably the whitest Puerto Rican you'll ever see.
Yeah, but I'm also the whitest Mexican.
This is true. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
what?
There's gotta be so anyway, so I say, you know what? I had this wedding. It was in Michigan. It was 20 minutes away from where my dad lived. I said, Papito. I call him Papito. I say, Papito, you're coming out to a wedding with me. He's like, great. I'll take off work. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I said, fine, fantastic, right? We get there. The guy is so in his element. This is a 5'5". He might even be 5'4". I swear he's shrinking at this point. He's got a temper that is fiery, but he is just like all in 100%. And he was like, all right, let's see, what do we gotta do? And so we're going and we're doing stuff, and he's just, he's taking care. I said, you know what, you take care of the guys, I take care of the girls, because I'm a little better looking. So, I'm like, you know what, bridesmaids and groomsmen, that's always what I do. At head tables, I go up, I say, what can I do for you? How are things going? Can I get you drinks? Is everything okay? Do you need more food? Blah, 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 blah. If it's a buffet, they don't want to get up, I say, let me serve you more. Boom.
Wow.
Right? So, I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
This is a whole other podcast to talk about something else.
Weren't you, like, moving things in the rain the other day?
Moving things, yep, absolutely. Yeah. I ran 300 yards to go ahead and take in ceremony centerpiece. Yeah. But the thing though is that I never told the bride and groom anything. The bride and groom ended up hearing it from someone else, but I never will say that and be like, hey, I'm the DJ, this is what I did.
Right.
Never. Because that's arrogant right there. Not going to do it. So anyways, we're doing this thing. He's taking care of the guys, I'm taking care of the girls. We're all having a good time. Everything's great. And then at one point there was the bar that was in the room, and there was a seasoned bartender and then a bartender. It was his very first day there. This guy, I ordered 4 rum and cokes for the bridal party. Yeah. It took him 4 minutes to make 4 rum and cokes. No joke, it was a minute per thing. And he's pouring in this much rum. I mean, nothing, right? And he's like, well, we can't have these people get drunk. My dad used to be a bartender back in the day, like way back in the day. And he's like, they're paying for an alcohol package. Let's load it up here, So this bartender, he goes out, he's going on a break, and the woman is slammed. She's got a line of 15 people. So my dad, he just leaves the booth where I'm at. I'm DJing. He leaves the booth, and next thing you know, I see him behind the bar. He's making tequila sunrises. He's doing a whole thing, and he's like, Impulse Entertainment. This is what we do. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is it. And he's back there. I took a snap, and he was in his own. And then I showed him the snap later, and he was like, I had no idea you even took a video. And I'm like, dude, you were in it. He's got his readers on for his glasses, and he's mixing stuff up. And the bridesmaid's like, because he does like half and half. Because when I want to drink, Susan knows this. If you give me a rum and coke, you give me 80% rum, 20% coke. Right. That's it, And he was off, and he's like, yeah, this is what we do. And I think to myself, so I guess to kind of answer this question, it was a little off topic, but to kind of answer the question, even though I don't think there was a question asked.
I don't know what question you're answering.
it's like you have to find someone that can work, but at the same time, people have said, like, you need to find someone that's you.
Right.
And I'm like, no, my dad, because I always say, you never want to grow up like your father. Like, that's the worst case scenario. Yeah. Like, you see your dad, he's got, like, issues or whatever, just habits.
It's like the bald version.
And you're like, this is not going to happen. And he killed it.
Yeah.
He killed it. If I could have him at every wedding, I would. And he'd be like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Because he understands that the customer is first always.
Yeah. And that's, I think,
red carpet treatment.
Your big, like, DJ, you can find a good DJ, right? They can check all those boxes.
Right.
But it's your customer service that sets you apart. Because I've worked so many weddings now. Like, I've at least worked, I would say, closer to, if they do 100, they literally do 100 weddings a year there. So I probably have worked 60, 75.
Yeah.
Like at this point, and no DJ does that level of customer service. Like they're not interacting. I mean, they'll go up to the bride, how are you doing? How are things going? But they won't like serve them food. They're not running out to get things. Like it's all left on the restaurant staff to do that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you just have to, and that's like, you can train someone to that level of service. You just have to make sure they're not going to slack. So like checking in on them once in a while.
Exactly.
But I feel like you'd have like a season of transition where you'd have to like double up and train and go, and you know what I mean? Like bring them with you to cross them over, and then you kind of let go. Into the 5-star realm.
Yeah. And that's exactly. It, right.
And you don't have to just like cut it cold turkey. You can like, okay, I'm going to do 20, you're going to do 20.
Right.
And you're still making money.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see. So I know we're getting close on a time too.
Yeah, what's the time now, Marsh? 1 hour.
1 hour.
See, it flies by.
We got to get out of here because no one's listening to this still. There's no one that's listening to this still. And if they are, wow. Yeah. Troopers.
Jenna, I have some friends that do. I'm always surprised by people who are like, yeah, I listened to that podcast. It was so good. And I forget, like, you can go back and listen to, you know. I'm like, oh, damn, that was so long ago. I forgot.
I bet Paul might be listening to it now.
Paul
seems like he listens to it. What's up, Paul?
Hey, Paul. And Jenna listens in China.
I would think
and my mom listens.
Nice. I would think that probably my parents would listen to. Hey, Mom, Dad, Savina, Sis, maybe. See, now we're just giving shout outs. Anyways, it's just the whole thing. You have to go on for days. Right.
It's like, it's so cool to give a shout out. But then you have to remember that like anyone could listen to.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to be careful. I mean, we were fine. We didn't like.
I'm thinking like, did I?
No, there was one time.
Say Sis's age wrong. She's 26.
Ooh, fact correction. Sis is 26.
She's 26.
This should be, man. This could get into something. You should like branch off. No, let's focus on perfecting this right. Yeah. Well, this is already very good.
I do have an idea for an after hours podcast.
Oh,
that's nice.
Which would be like around here, and it would be kind of like I was gonna call it tequila and tampons.
Ooh.
And then Marshall had the idea of like a rotating male guest and then women. Because I wanted it to be like a group chat, basically. And then we decided like to have a rotating male guest would be fun.
See, I think that's awesome because I think too at some point, like the thing that I enjoy about this podcast is that sometimes you dig in.
Yeah.
And you go into it. And there's been some podcasts that I've listened to and it's like, whoa, like we're digging in like personal. You know, like this is big stuff. But it's awesome because it shows... I'm a fan of podcasts. Not that I listen to them that often, but I'm a fan of podcasts, especially this one, because you digging into how someone thinks, how someone just what is in their mind. And so even doing something that's like more raw. Yeah. That's just like you're getting into it and it's like throwing back a couple of shots of tequila and let's see what happens.
And then see what happens.
You know?
And it has to be a place where like people can be, and that's the
Or can we soak the tampon in tequila?
That's
yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
People do that.
People do that.
Producer, I see.
Yeah, but and I want it to be more open. But then people like it has to be a different audience because here, like, we kept it like very professional.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's supposed to be. But this after hours one is tricky because you're still showing them, and they still have a voice, and it's going online. So you have to get people who are like comfortable in their opinions.
Yeah.
They can't give a shit.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't give a shit because
exactly.
I'm not going to edit it. And I don't edit this either. So, I mean, we've gone...
We did that once, and after that, we were like,
no.
Sorry, never again.
Not editing, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's got to be too much.
Like, before you, I always start recording before it starts because I'm doing sound check. So I cut...
The beginning,
yeah. But if there's something good that's in there,
right? But during the podcast, it's like don't go on here if you don't want to hear it,
right?
Like, or if you don't want to say it.
If you don't want to say it, exactly.
Oh, that's your own fault.
So that exactly.
And that's where it gets tricky because we do drink on here, and so you have to.
We're drinking wine right now.
Yeah, we are.
You know,
people don't care though.
No, people don't care.
Can we get Can I get a top off?
And then, do you guys have time to go to the web?
Let's go.
The web. Have a beer.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were about like
the web.
The internet. We have time to surf.
I was like, sure.
Yeah.
That in 20 years.
Right. It's so true.
www.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys ever thought about doing something like like, Marshall, come on in. Like, at one point, like, coming on in.
I'll probably talk a little bit. Maybe, like, one day we're going to invest in everyone has a mic.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And I'm going to have a camera looking back at, like, it's great, like, the fact she's here, because I don't feel so lonely.
Yeah.
But, like, if you can get that to cut in every 10 minutes, it's like the peanut gallery, not necessarily, like,
it's almost like a Howard Stern feel,
like,
sort of.
Breaking the fourth wall, I think, is like really popular now. The reason I don't edit shit out is because I think it's funny and people prefer it to be real.
Yeah,
they do prefer it to be real.
Absolutely.
That's the podcast I listen to, or they just don't give a shit. They don't even fact check. They're like,
yeah,
like if we're wrong, we'll say something next week.
Well, yeah, exactly.
World War II, 1974, whatever. It's all good.
Right, exactly. It's like.
But like
like
the pillars, the foundation of like marketing for the Uninhibited is they're simple, realistic, and fun. So like that's what this podcast is. It's simple, it's realistic, and fun. We literally come in, we sit down, and we talk, and then that's it. We don't edit. Like we have to, of course, get it to a version we can share like online.
Right.
That's it. It's not overcomplicated.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to.
See, because I think that sometimes if for people that aren't going to watch the video, they want to see what Marshall looks like. They want to see what Susan looks like. You know what I mean? Because they hear this voice going back, being like, "I'm not going to edit this shit out."
Okay,
so say much.
Usually he doesn't say like anything, but here's the thing:
this is good.
Would we never like when I introduce him to people, especially if it's people like I'm dating Marshall.
Yeah.
But like other guests that don't know, I never introduce him as my boyfriend. I always just say like, "This is the sound guy, Marshall."
Yeah.
And so
does that offend you?
No, that's what I want. I don't want it to
keep it professional.
Because
the real feeling is weird.
It's weird.
Like we don't want to alienate the guest in the room.
Yeah, you're right.
But then it's like obvious based on our interactions and the way we're talking that like he's probably not just a sound guy.
Yeah, the biggest one.
Exactly. So
Bam! Christmas podcast. Marshall's not just a sound guy.
Surprise!
So much more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
sound and more.
So do they feel
It's my card.
sound and
more?
That's it.
More part.
Yeah. But so then is it weirder for the guests to not know and have to infer like?
See, I don't know because I've known you for several months now.
Yeah.
So it's different. But I think that
depends on the guest.
it would. I wish it would. Yeah, it depends on the guest. I would say because.
Well, because like for the one where Marshall's like in the background, like she's gonna beat me later, but like she didn't. I never said we were dating.
Right. So it's like this marketing Miranda who's got like all this power on this podcast. It's like you done messed up, Ron. Like that's it. No job for you. You know.
She's not gonna feed me.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. It's just a weird. All these things you had to think about.
I know you have to. I think that though with some of your, like most of your guests, they seem super candid and super cool. That if it was something,
I would say you wouldn't know.
Yeah, and I would think that you would network with.
Yeah.
You're gonna network with the people that. Yeah, that's weird bottle color.
Oh, they are different colors. Weird.
Anyways, so.
Well, this is good. We can end it now. We've been talking forever. An hour and a half.
This is nuts.
Good. Cheers or something.
Cheers.
Yeah, let's cheers. Yeah,
Thanks
cheers.
Here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me,
Thank you, Susan,
Miranda.
for coming. I'm so glad you came.
Yeah, me too.
It's so fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Give it up for Marshall. What?
Woohoo! Sound guy.
What? Give it up for Marshall. Sound guy.
And more.
And more.
Sound and more. Just end it there.
Yeah.
It's like I got it before.